also think you can't ignore the shorter term ways that we as a group can be useful to the community. Sometimes even in the name of building ourselves towards being able to address those longer term goals. Like the example of our neighborhood cleanup effort here, right? It's a way to build ourselves as a group. It's a way to involve more folks in our group, build ourselves, build our power, in order to be able to, right? I mean, in order to be able to bring more folks into future meetings so that we can build our power and address the longer term goals that we have in a more impactful way as we continue to grow and gain power. So I feel like we're talking in circles, but my point is just to think that one of the things I have a lot of respect for about the way Michigan Corporation tends to do things is that we a lot of the times find ourselves addressing both, and it's sort of like a one hand watches the other, or I mean that's not the right euphemism, but like one supports the other, one feeds into the other, right? I don't know that we can necessarily do one without the other.
Yeah, it's like, okay, just to be clear, Michigan Liberation, number one, first and foremost, is a political nonprofit which focuses on criminal justice reform. That is our number one main priority. Our avenues of getting to this, first and foremost, we are a power building organization. What we do is we build power in communities. We bring communities on board with our work. We do things to support communities, and we engage communities in aiding us, supporting them. So, our work in District 4 right now, it's really, it's about criminal justice. It's about changing things. It's about police accountability. It's about prosecutor accountability. It's about wrongful incarcerations that need to end. It's about ending cash bail. It's about bringing back good times. This is what our work is really about. But in the, we understand, Lewis, what you just said a few minutes ago about no one is going to care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's one of my all-time favorite quotes and philosophies. And we're not coming in to District 4 or any other areas talking about, look, this is the way things should be, and we need you to get on board with the way things should be. That's not what we're about. We host listening sessions. We hear the community. We address the issues that the community brings up. We build relationships with the community. We show the community that we care. We do so by cleaning up the neighborhoods. We do so by changing the break place. And Lewis, just to directly address your issue, there has been some discussion in this order about hosting a food drive. Just a day of setting up, or every day or every weekend, or as much as our capacity allows, of just setting up in a neighborhood and feeding people. These are discussions that we have had board-wide, at our staff house, etc. And it's not something that's a reality yet, but it's a direction that we may consider moving, and especially after you bring it back, up here in our listening sessions here now. So, there are a lot of different ways through which we build relationships with people, but I can't stress enough that the primary number one way we do that is by listening. So I'm going to shut up now and go back to here and what the community has to say. Thank you.
You ain't got to shut up, Pat. But listen, I want to touch on, first I'm going to go in reverse. The food situation, about food drives. I've been brought that up because I pass out food every week. I personally cook food and go up to Team Wellness and every corner up on Gratiot all the way down from here to 8 Mile and feed people. Literally food that I cook basically out of my own pocket. And so we talked about that, and it's not a reality yet board-wide, but it all starts with the thought, and the thought is being cultivated. So it's going to become a reality because it's so easy to help people through feeding them. Now, that's one thought that I had. Now, with respects to when Neil was speaking to Lewis about hunger was never really brought up. And in an odd way, hunger was always brought up because we always talked about homelessness. We talked about how blight allows for homeless people to come in because they don't have anywhere else to go. It allows for drug addicts to come in. It allows for so many other elements of our society to come in due to the blight. The abandoned houses, they need somewhere to sleep at night. They need somewhere to use their drugs at. Some of the drug dealers need somewhere to sell their drugs at. When they can't, get into somebody else's house, they don't want to let them in. So I understand, I come from that world. But hunger is built into homelessness. Hunger is built in to the drug addicts who are on the streets. Hunger is built in to a lot of the things that we go through every day. So we talk about it, we just don't use that as the topic of discussion, hunger. But we talk about it all the time, and that's an issue that we must tackle because it's too easy to, you have these food banks like Gleaners, Forgotten Harvest, and a few other ones that give out so much food. The government has allocated funds for them to get so much food in their warehouses that all we have to do is apply for it. I know this personally. All we have to do is apply for it, and they give food to organizations who's already established with a following. You get to the top of the list. Personally, if YoungEl or me said we want a food truck, they gonna vet us. They're going to see what our following look like. They're going to see where we can pass out food at. They're going to have so many, and this is not to say nothing bad, but they're going to have so many reasons not to give us a food truck because we don't have an established organization, etc. But if Michigan Liberation or my organization right now, Good Heart Youth, the Great Minds Project, went to them and said, we have this following. We have this area. We need food. We're going to go to the top of the list because not everyone is coming correct like we coming correct. So in response to what you said, Lewis, I agree 100%. In response to what Neil said, I agree 100%. In response to what Pat said, I agree 100%. But we have to get this stuff done because the people in our communities are dependent upon somebody to take the leadership role. And many are called, but chosen are few, and we some of the chosen that have been called.